Warning, we are a spoilers podcast. At times we are also an offensive podcast. And we are most certainly a verbally explicit podcast. So if you fear for any of your delicate sensibilities, please back up now before you reach the point of no return. Alright, pussies, this is your final warning.
Welcome to the podcast that goes 0 to 60 and I'm gonna find the fuck out. And then, of course, slams on the brakes and goes 25 miles an hour in the fast lane, stopping traffic for miles. We are Cinematic Anarchy. And with me for this podcast today, I have, as usual, Miss Bee.
Hello!
Hello! And, we've been down and out for a little while. So this is our first podcast post-COVID infection of, everyone.
Yeah, seriously. No, I had the flu.
You had the flu, that's right. Okay. I had COVID.
Everyone else got COVID. I got the fucking flu, which isn't fair.
Everyone in this... How is that not fair? You'd rather have COVID?
I would rather get COVID because then I wouldn't have to use my own PTO. I could have the PTO from the state.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we all got COVID here. So, 1, 2, 3,
I had to use 4 full days of my own PTO.
I did not use my PTO at all. I worked the entire time. Because I'm working from home.
Well, we don't have the option to work from home anymore.
Ah, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, outside of the loveliness of illness, we are going to go ahead and discuss a fantastic film that we got to watch over the past few days because, you know what? After all of the celebrities that just kind of disappeared on us over the past month, we needed something good to watch.
This was really good. This had a great fucking cast.
I was not expecting this to be as good as it was because of the lead actor. The gentleman
Saul fucking Goodman.
Saul Goodman, yes. But I know him not just from that. He actually does a lot of work with David Cross. He's had a couple of different TV shows like Mr. Show that he was on. He does a lot of sketch comedy stuff. And I know him as a really goofy actor. So this was just... It kind of put him on the level of, Jackie Chan, as far as I'm concerned, with his kind of...
Honestly, no. It kind of put him on, what was that fucking movie? Brawl on Cell Block?
Right, Vince Vaughn.
99? Vince Vaughn.
Well, I'm not saying he's a martial artist, but the fighting style that he put forth, when he was doing hand-to-hand combat in the middle of the bus... That fighting style that he put forth, he didn't come off as a certifiable badass. He took a lot of really good shots. And that's kind of how Jackie Chan approaches his kind of fighting style. It's an everyman that's kind of getting into the fight, but he's getting his ass kicked while he's fighting as well. But I cannot praise this movie and the fucking kitty cat bracelet enough.
It made you think that there was something important about the kitty cat bracelet, had some significant meaning or something, or there was something special hidden inside the kitty cat bracelet. But no, it's just a regular kitty cat bracelet it was just a regular charm bracelet.
It was a regular charm bracelet. But what it was sort of that tether.
That's my kids.
You can fuck with me as much as you want, but if you fuck with my family and you fuck with my kids, that's where his breaking point was. So,
honestly, I think he just, once she said, my kitty cat bracelet is gone, could they have stolen it? That was his, excuse to go lose his shit. He's been needing to lose his shit for a long fucking time. And he couldn't. He couldn't do anything about it. Because he wanted to be a family man and get out of this whole fucking scene.
Well, the whole montage at the beginning just kind of set up the monotony of his life. Him and his wife weren't really communicating. They had literally built a pillow wall between the two of them when they go to sleep at night. And, he was constantly having issues with missing the trash, and his wife's reminding him, you missed the trash again. It's I know that. I was just out there chasing after the trash truck. I think it was just sort of the monotony of his life. He wanted to get out of what he was doing, but the more and more removed he got from it, the more and more listless that he got, and then the kitty cat bracelet was just that straw on the camel's fucking back. There is nothing in this movie that made me laugh harder than when he is holding the gun to the back of that guy's head. Where is the fucking kitty cat bracelet? I'm just
No, honestly, my favorite part of that was every time he tried to explain who he was to the people that he just kicked the shit out of, they ended up dying before he finished his sentence.
Right. Just
he'll turn around to be all dramatic and then turn back around to face them and they're all dead. And he's like, God damn it.
Right. It's just, I'm trying to lay out what I am here. Well, I think he was doing that because he knows that the person that he's telling the story to isn't going to be breathing all that much longer. So let me go ahead and tell you. You know, he tells his whole story to the 4 dead guys in the basement before he sets the whole place on fire.
They weren't completely dead when he started telling the story, though.
There were a couple of them that were moving still. I think there was at least 2 dead and 2 that were kind of moving a little bit.
I think the 2 in the middle that were still, like, alive.
Because that guy who got the teapot to the back of the head, that guy was dead. Like, dead. Half of his brain matter is in that teapot. Just kind of drained back.
I definitely did not realize that Christopher Lloyd was his father until, like, the very end fight scene. Where he's just, like, fucking shit up and, like, it was his laugh that made me recognize who he was.
It was up until that point. He was so subdued, even when he killed the first 2 guys that were in his room.
Yeah.
He was so subdued, it was just, like, not the Christopher Lloyd that I'm used to.
I didn't fucking recognize him. And, like, Christopher Lloyd, for as long as I've known him, always been old. He's one of those, like, perpetually old people that has never once been young in his life.
He
like
looks
Morgan
the same.
Freeman or fucking, I don't know.
He looks exactly the same
Dumbledore.
As, well, like, if you go back, like, when he was in the fucking Back to the Future movies. Me stumbling on my tongue. There we go. First time for the podcast.
He was old as shit still.
He looked that old when he was in those movies. He even looked kind of old back when he was doing the TV show Taxi and he was playing Reverend Jim, you know?
Exactly. Like, he's like a perpetually old person, but this is like a different kind of old. This is unrecognizable.
How do you pronounce the other guy's name? Because I've heard
I didn't even know he was still fucking alive. I thought he was, like, in a retirement home or some shit. He's still acting and shit. Like, I love him. He's an icon. And
you saw that you had our favorite villain in the movie from Turbo Kid. Michael Ironside was playing the guy that he bought the warehouse from.
Yep.
I loved that. If I'm gonna sell this place, I don't want it to be a good offer. I want it to be a fucking great offer.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, and what better offer than
an
entire box of gold? Just take all this. Go ahead, you were saying.
The entire movie, like, the only, like, genuinely nice person to him, to Hutch, was his boss.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, everybody else the problem is that he had to subdue himself so much that he could not let little bits of his former life leak out. So you've got, like, the next door neighbor who is just like, you know, if it was my family or if he came over here, you know, I could have used the exercise. And then the cops, look, if that was my family, man, I would have taken care of business. You got Uncle whatever his name is, who basically points the gun at him. He's like, no, don't worry, the safety's on. Wait, hold on. Now the safety's on.
His wife's brother.
His wife's brother, yes. Which means that is that is, what was that?
Alfredo.
I didn't hear him that time. I heard you. Just, woo! Out of nowhere.
No, he he went, what?
What? Okay, there we go. Well, that means that Michael Ironside would have been his father-in-law, then. If I'm not mistaken. That would have made Michael Ironside his father-in-law because that's his son.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was talking about, he goes, wanting to give this guy his youth, and wanting to give the father a decent retirement. You know, that's why, you know, he goes, I want a little piece of this for myself. He goes, I don't want to put you guys out to pasture, but I want to see you have a good retirement, and I want to see him enjoy his youth. Which is kind of a lie. You could tell he was kind of gritting his teeth, like, no, I just want him the fuck out of here. You, I don't mind seeing retire. You, I'd like him to go.
I didn't realize there was an after credits scene the first time around.
No,
I saw it the second time around, though.
What did you think about the house shopping at the end?
Does it have a basement?
Does it have a basement? Immediately, the first question. Does this place have a basement?
Okay, the ending scene, quote unquote ending scene that I wanted to like bitch and moan about was why the fuck? Okay, this guy, the fucking Julian, he doesn't like seem like he's a total complete dumbass.
No,
right? No, he's not a complete fucking dumbass. He like earlier in the movie when fucking Hutch went into his club and he was having dinner, he like he took the napkin off and showed him that he had a fucking landmine.
Yep.
And like this dude knows this guy has a fucking landmine. The ending like fight scene where he kills Julian, he duct tapes the landmine to a fucking SWAT shield.
Yeah. I think that's like a blast shield
and runs
or whatever.
Out, and he's shooting at the fucking thing. Why would you shoot at a fucking landmine? Why would you not shoot at his feet where he can fall on his fucking face and then blow himself up?
I think the main thought might have been in his head, like, first of all, guy needs shooting classes. Whatever.
Honestly,
he was doing a horrible job
took,
shooting.
Like, stormtrooper classes.
Exactly. Well, that's a lot of these movies. The villains are taking stormtrooper classes. They can't hit the broadside of a barn with the barn in front of them. But I think the first thought in his head might have been to shoot the landmine while it was still at a safe distance, so it hurt him, not him. You know.
He would still get hit with shrapnel, though.
So it's hurt. Well, yeah, he would have still gotten hit with shrapnel, but this thing's coming at him either way. And he's not in any shape, because he already took that first concussive blast from the grenade earlier on in the film.
Hutch is on the strong side of the blast shield.
I understand that. But if he had got him at a decent distance, he would have knocked Hutch on his ass, and then he could have taken him out.
But he kept shooting when he got too close.
Well, at that point, he already committed to shooting.
At that point, just shoot him on the fucking ankles.
That's a good point. I mean, he could have
aim for the feet.
Aim for the feet, because he wasn't covering his feet. He could have taken his foot out. You're right.
He could have taken his feet out. He would have fallen on his face, and then he would have blown himself up.
You know, that wasn't a head-to-toe coverage. That was maybe like mid-knee to toe coverage, you know?
Exactly.
Shoot him in the shin.
That was like head to shin.
If you see it's not penetrating, shoot down here, yeah. Yeah, you know, I could see that was not a good maneuver on his part. But I also think that, I mean, you saw him throughout the film. He was more reactive than intelligent.
Yeah.
So a lot of what he did was somebody fucks with him, he reacts with a show of power.
Doesn't matter if I fucking hated my brother, you're gonna pay for his death.
Exactly. Yeah, even like in the scene where they were talking about the guy not having confidence in his group being able to protect the object. Right? Yeah. And he immediately goes and takes that guy out, slits his throat. The guy that's like a 3% investor in the object.
Shareholder, yeah.
And it was immediately reactive. You questioned my power and authority. I'm going to do something absolutely batshit crazy so that I can reestablish that I'm the guy, I'm the man. Don't question me again. So he did a lot of reactive stuff.
This movie gave me very strong, like, oh my god, I had the perfect combination. Home Alone meets Hobo with Shotgun vibes.
Yep, I would have given you that. I went with Home Alone and Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Yeah.
Just that vibe, the guy that you wouldn't expect.
The Home Alone, fucking the way he renovated that whole fucking workspace.
My thing is this. He renovated the entire space by himself, because at that point he didn't have his dad.
All that artillery?
Oh, you gotta know that he had that somewhere, stashed in that basement.
Right,
I guarantee you he had most of that stashed down there.
With the fucking, like, 6-inch steel sliding door.
Something to that nature. He had not completely removed himself from that life. He had a fucking nuke
shelter in his basement.
But he had a shelter, but he also, as you saw with the 4 corpses that he basically had in his basement.
he said he rigged it so that it, like, burns 3 times as hot as it takes to...
Because he has that thing in the back of his head. There's at some point somebody may catch up with him from his old life, and he needs the opportunity to be able to burn the evidence down to the ground. Nothing can be left
he's
from his
7'2",
former life.
Which we all found out recently what the 7'2" tattoo means.
You did more research than I did, so I'm going to go ahead and let you run with the 7'2" tattoo.
So it kind of references, like, poker, but also he mentions throughout the movie that he's from one of those, like, 3-letter name corporations. Like the CIA, NSA, OSS.
Well, he was actually an all-round auditor CIA. For several different 3-letter corporations.
Yeah. And he explains that being an auditor means you're the last fucking person that anybody wants to see, as you're not going to leave anybody left seeing anything.
And so the 7-2...
And the 7-2 is, like, it's the worst hand you can be dealt.
Right. Now, I knew that part, that it was statistically one of the worst hands you could be dealt because there's literally nothing you can do with it. So if you're playing, like, what is it, a 7-card draw, or I don't know is it Texas Hold'em? Is that what it's called, where you have the 2 cards and then they draw the 5 for the river? I believe it's called Texas Hold'em. I don't play a lot of card games. But I don't play a lot of poker either. At best, I do 5-card draw, that's it.
Yeah.
But if you're given those 2 cards, there's literally nothing that you can do with it. You have to depend upon the river. Because the 7-2, there's nothing you can connect it to. There's nothing you can throw in the middle of it. It's statistically one of the worst hands that you can get in poker.
So one person said the 2 of diamonds essentially means he doesn't make mistakes, and the 7 of spades is said to be certainty and truth. So both represents that he knows he has a bad hand, but he knows what he's doing with it. And then another person said the 7-2 unsuited is the worst hand you can be dealt in a game of poker, just like Mansell is the worst thing that you could possibly happen to anybody that he was assigned to deal with.
Right. So either way,
I like that really, like, small detail. And, like, they made a note of it at the very, like, first fight when he's in the tattoo shop.
Well, that's before he even gets to the first fight. That's when he's getting ready to hunt down the 2 people that stole his watch. He thinks stole the bracelet, which turns out not to be true.
Which turns out to be under their couch.
Right. Like, literally, this thing that was under the couch in his basement, for some reason, it was the catalyst for all this fucking shit that happened.
Mm-hmm. And there was nothing special about the bracelet. It was just his kid's bracelet.
Well, it's obviously one of his kids' favorite bracelets, so...
Yeah. But this is, like, I'll give this movie, like, a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
It's got, like, good funny points. It's got great fight scene. It's got Christopher fucking Lloyd.
I would definitely welcome a sequel to this movie. Honestly.
And, what was his fucking name? The Barber.
The Barber.
What was his fucking name? Tony something.
I don't know the name of the barber off the top of my head, no. He had just such a small role, I don't even have him listed on the grouping of people they have noted for the main cast here. Why? What was significant about the Barber for you?
No, he's just like a face I've seen in multiple other movies. He's a great fucking actor. He always plays like a really good, intimidating bad guy.
His name's Banyan in the movie. Banyan. Banion. Banyan. Played by Colin Salmon.
Hang on.
You're just looking it up.
My phone's being stupid.
Well, you try to Google, but you can only Google if your phone works with you, and unfortunately, sometimes that does not happen. So,
how do you spell his last name?
The name of the guy's name, Colin Salmon, Salmon.
Salmon?
Salmon. Salmon.
Salmon?
Salmon.
Are you seriously saying salmon right now?
It could be salmon, but
salmon. Thank you.
I don't want to assume that he calls himself salmon. I don't want to assume that he names himself after a fish. It could be salmon. You don't know. You do not know.
How do you know he named himself? How do you know he didn't just keep his parents' name, his birth name?
Maybe he went into the world of acting and decided he just wanted to act a little fishy. Who knows? I don't fucking know.
I mean, there's Susie Salmon from The Lovely Bones.
Okay. Okay, fine. So, what was your point, anyway, to this whole...
I don't know, I just like that he was like a nice little added detail.
So we went on to like 2-3 minute Google fest for no point. I thought you had a point.
He was a famous actor. I thought he was the Candyman, but he wasn't.
90%,
he was the guy from fucking Resident Evil.
90% of them were famous actors. They had the RZA in here.
They had a really great fucking... Yeah. They had a really great cast.
It was... I honestly thought it was a great cast. I put that in there with the whole Brawl in Cell Block 99 thing because it was a role for an actor that I had not previously seen.
Did not expect this for.
Because he literally plays that character that you're seeing. The meek, sometimes the father character, sometimes it's the sidekick.
Sometimes the snaky fucking lawyer.
It's never, the kick-ass guy,
Yeah.
Never the soldier of fortune, nothing like that. And so when I saw him, from the moment he fucking screamed for the kitty cat bracelet, through that bus scene, through him stealing his next door neighbor's car, and just spouting the same line.
And I'm about to find the fuck out.
Right. Spouting the same exact line. What is it he said? I'm going to go 0 to 60 and I'm about to find the fuck out. Yes. On through basically the entire movie is just that one thing.
Solid fucking film.
And the reason I appreciated the movie as much as I did is because I don't think it was more than 5 minutes into the movie before the home invasion started.
Yep. Exactly. I like that it's not slow to start.
Yeah, it didn't take forever. They didn't lay down a whole bunch of backstory. They kind of let the pieces fall as they may as he was going along. They didn't need all the backstory to set it up. They were just like, here's the home invasion. Here's him about to knock this girl's brain out with a fucking... was that a driver?
That whole line where, he's being talked to by the cops, and they're like, so who the fuck are you? And he's like, me. And pulls out a can of cat food for the cat that he just rescued from this fucking war zone.
Right.
Lights a cigarette. I'm nobody. Bro, come on. Me? I'm nobody. Come on! No, come on.
But it's the perfect line. It is the perfect line in that moment, though. Eastwood. And they look at him and go, that's not exactly a decent answer. He goes, well, that's the best answer you're going to get.
He's trying to be Clint fucking Eastwood, and I can't.
He's playing it cool because exactly what happened 2 seconds afterwards when they both got called and they had to let him the fuck go. He knows who he is.
He knows what's going to happen.
And he also knows that he can't exactly tell the cops, I'm an auditor for the government. I kill people for the CIA, the FBI, whoever the fuck hires me to kill people. You know? I'm basically... Something fucked up happens.
International assassin.
Somebody steals from us. Something fucked up happens. They call me in to clean up the mess.
All I can think of is that fucking TikTok audio. 'Cause I'm an international super spy. Super spy!
All I can see is Rowan Atkinson when you're doing that. Fucking Johnny English. Okay. I'm going to give you my 2 favorite scenes in the movie. Just 2 little moments that happened throughout the film that I thought were the best.
Okay.
First one is the one we already talked about. The guy finds the 7.2, sees the 7.2 on his wrist. Old timer is immediately, thanks for your service, locks everybody into the room with him. He's like, I'm out of here. Did you hear 7 locks go off? And then this guy who was talking tough 2 seconds ago talks 3 octaves higher. How may I help you? Like he had just been kicked in the balls. That was the best. Just point me in this direction of that tattoo right there. That's all I need. Second thing that I thought was the best was the bus scene. But as a specific moment in the bus scene, he gets tossed out the window, picks himself off the ground, goes back in, gets on his knees, cuts off the seatbelt, and immediately goes, run. And the girl gets up. She's like, thank you, thank you, thank you, and is out the bus.
Okay, so for me, it was that scene, but it was when he grabbed the phone. It was after he got thrown out the window and grabbed the phone from the bus driver. It was don't call the cops yet.
Oh, no.
And walked back on.
No. He didn't grab the phone from her again, did he? Because he grabbed the phone from her the first time just before he shut the door on her.
Just before he pushed everyone out?
Yeah, he basically... Most people walked out.
Oh, no, you're right.
The big tough guy that they were trying to stare down walked his ass out.
She's trying to like ask if he's okay, and he's just like, nope, hang on.
Then he opens up the gun, empties all the bullets on the floor. He's like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Right?
But he delivered it in such a way that it's like, I'm gonna fuck you up, but it didn't sound like he could actually fuck them up. Like,
my favorite part was, my other favorite part was Christopher Lloyd sitting in his fucking nursing home chair, fucking blowing off 2 shotgun shells on 2 random guys fucking breaking into his room. And the nurse runs in, and he's got this guy fucking, like, dying on his lap and shit. Dude's
got the hand over the guy's mouth.
TV down! Yeah. You need to turn the TV down. God damn it, I thought there was some shit going on. And then he gets a call from their buddy, Harry?
Harry, yes, right. Harry Mansell or something.
So is this their brother? His brother?
No, because Harry's the RZA. RZA. I don't think that's his brother, no. I know it says Harry Mansell, Hutch Mansell, but I wonder if it's maybe like a code name that they gave them.
For like their team?
For their team, yeah. The last name seems to be the same, but...
Because it's like his father, him, and this guy.
They didn't provide enough explanation as to exactly what this guy was to him, because this guy was adamant about staying and hiding. They only talked through radio communication. So...
Yeah, but he's also the only other guy that fucking... Possibly a brother-in-law?
The last name may even be just... Like I said, we were saying, it may just be like a code name. Something that they use to identify... his name may not be Harry. Or, is it Henry? No, it's Harry. Hutch may not even be Hutch. That may not have been their original name in the real world before they went under whatever they were doing.
But it would make sense if he was like an adopted brother or a half-brother or some shit, because families like to do that whole alliteration thing with their kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. Oh, you saw they did that with Charmed, where all the girls started with P.
I know.
Piper, Prue, blah blah blah. I couldn't remember the rest of the names. Piper, Paige.
I don't remember
Prue,
the rest of them either.
Else.
Paige.
But there's another one.
Paige?
There's Piper, Paige, Prue, and Phoebe. But it's the only one that didn't sound like P. It starts with a P, but it's
a fee.
It starts with a P, but it's a fee. Yes.
I'm
all
not
right.
drunk.
So I think we've gone ahead and discussed the film enough. We're gonna go. What? What did you say?
I'm not drunk.
I need to be drunk.
That's with a P, but it's a fee.
I need to be drunk. I'm not yet. All right. We're going to go ahead and let our sponsor speak for itself, and then we will be right back in a few moments, and we will sit down and have a little discussion about the folks that we've lost this year. And, there's several people that I hold dear to my heart, and...
Damn, we're going to kill the vibe.
We're going to kill the vibe, but we're going to try our best to kill the vibe in the best way, okay?
I need to refill my drink.
You're going to need a drink for this. All right, so for the second half of our podcast today, we're going to have a bit of a downbeat. Hopefully not too much of a downbeat. We're going to talk about some decent actors that have passed on this year. It's a really shitty first swing.
Hopefully not too much of a downbeat. We're about to fucking break everyone's hearts with who's died this year. What icons we've lost.
What icons? It's only been January.
Exactly. It's only been a month, and 2022 fucking sucks.
Okay, can I just say fuck you, 2022? Fuck you, 2022. That's the slogan for the rest of the year.
We need a remix of Low-Key Fuck 2020.
Right? Just fuck you, 2022.
That song is a fucking bop.
So first up to bat here is Bob Saget.
Sidney Poitier.
Oh, you're gonna go with Sidney over Bob?
I'm gonna go with Sidney.
Sidney, okay. Sidney Poitier. Well, then if you're gonna take Sidney first, I'm gonna let you take Sidney first. Go.
Well,
go, Sidney.
Sidney died this year. What else do you want me to say?
Is that the entire eulogy that you have planned for Sidney Poitier? Sidney died this year. Goodbye.
The entire eulogy I had for everyone on this list.
Just did you ever?
They died this year, and it sucks.
Have you ever seen Sidney Poitier in anything? That's where you have to start right there. I can personally say that I know that I've seen. Is it Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Was that the one that was? Yep. That was the big one. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? But the one that I saw before that, and this is something that my father used to watch, the old TV show In the Heat of the Night that had Carol O'Connor in it as sort of the semi-racist sheriff. Sidney Poitier starred in the film version of that back in 1967. So that's the entire reason that TV show even exists, is his role as Virgil Tibbs in the movie.
Yeah.
And Rod Steiger played the Carol O'Connor role from the TV show in the movie. So those are the big two for me. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and In the Heat of the Night. Those are the ones that I remember him from. I don't remember a lot of the other stuff that he's done. He had a little bit here and there, like Little Nikita he was in, starring alongside of River Phoenix.
Sorry, we don't mean to have my boyfriend laughing in the background during this. This is not an appropriate time to laugh, my love.
Well, they made us laugh. They made us cry. Fredo's just laughing because he's a cackling fool.
That's how he copes.
That's how he copes. Laughter is the best medicine. Sidney Poitier also starred in the 1997 version of The Jackal and an earlier film called Sneakers. So these are like all movies that I've seen that he's had, one role or another in.
I haven't done a lot of research on what celebrities have died this year.
Well,
I know a few.
Let's go with Bob Saget, because Bob Saget, I know you have seen something of his, whether it be stand-up comedy or his role as the dad in Dumb and Dumberer.
And recently there was like a little controversy within the group about Bob Saget.
Oh, that was I don't even know how to put that.
We're not going to like state who said what or whatever, but there's always been this rumor going around about Bob Saget being like a pedophile.
Yeah, no, and that was actually,
and the Olsen twins specifically stated that he wasn't like inappropriate with them, but there was that whole scene which everybody rightfully is concerned about, that whole thing where he admitted to fucking around with the doll that was portrayed to look like the Olsen twins.
It was a stand,
when they were.
So the whole thing was, you got to understand that it's the 80s. We're talking about comedians.
Yeah, it was a different time, but that doesn't make it right.
Oh, I'm not saying that it makes it right, but you also can't take it out of the context of the time where it was a more accepted thing to act that way. Yeah. It's not accepted now, but when
a lot of people have been taking his personal roast
as gospel.
Seriously?
Have you seen the way that they roast?
They've been taking these jokes seriously, and that whole thing with Gilbert Gottfried.
Right.
Where he was like, Bob Saget raped and killed a girl in 1994, or some shit like that. And that was just him trying to be fucking edgy. That was never a real rumor. That was never a thing that actually happened. No. That was debunked.
Comedy Central roasts in general are in existence for the fact that they are filthy. They push the taste of comedy. That's not even exactly true. There are some comedians that still kind of push the envelope a little bit. I would put that in almost like Daniel Tosh territory, a lot of those roasts. Yeah. They kind of push...
Or
Bill Burr. There's a lot of comedians that kind of push
Tom Segura.
This is... oh, God. There's a lot of comedians out there that kind of push the levels of taste.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Kind of no-holds-barred comedians. And the problem is that people don't understand that it's comedy, and that's where we lose touch a little bit.
See, that's the thing. It's not that they don't understand it's comedy; it's they know it's comedy, but comedy is subjective to the audience.
It's also comedy based off of a subject that some people might find touchy. It might trigger certain people. Some people will get triggered
by exactly.
Some people may take it as reality and run with it and make an entire Twitter war about a guy based off of nothing.
Yep.
So, yeah. Bob Saget was fucking America's dad. He was the guy for ages. They brought him back for the newer television show, and he was America's dad again. A little bit more edgy at this point, because he wasn't really comfortable going completely back to what he was.
He kind of did the same thing that most Disney stars did. He wanted to get out of the family, little kid, lovey-dovey shit and get into, like, more adult comedy.
Well, that was also the explanation that a lot of his co-stars had for his antics behind scene. Almost all of them did it. Because they were in a show that was basically, you know, the very clean cut. Everybody in the show was very...
That's how everybody knows you for the rest of your life. Is you're the fucking heartfelt, lovey-dovey fucking Family Guy dad.
Right. So, I mean, all of them kind of had their own little ways of acting out, and he kind of acted out.
They couldn't be their full selves.
Bob Saget himself, though, as a comedian, was not that person that was portrayed on TV. He had a cushy role for years, but he was not that comedian. He was foul-mouthed. He was almost as foul-mouthed as George Carlin at the time, you know?
Exactly.
And he was stuck in a role where, basically, if he had stepped out of that line and gone back to what he was, he wouldn't have had a job.
Yeah.
So, moving on from Bob Saget to Meatloaf. Meatloaf. In unison now. Wow, there we go.
Right.
Meatloaf, I know for a lot of different roles. Meatloaf has been in quite a few things. He was the bouncer at the bar in Wayne's World.
Yep.
He played the guy, it was a Dave with the bitch tits in that's exactly what they called him. That's not me, you know, stepping out of line. That's the line from the movie.
No, that's yeah.
In Fight Club.
Rocky Horror.
He was in Rocky Horror. Oh my God, Rocky Horror, of course, Eddie.
Rocky Horror.
He was also in one of the last movies that Patrick Swayze did, Black Dog, which is a movie about truckers. It was not a good movie. I would look back at it now just because both Patrick Swayze and him had passed away and they were the lead roles in the movie, but it was not a good film. Yeah. You know, trucker revenge movie. Huh?
He was in Monk.
I
did a whole Monk binge last year.
He was, wasn't he? I don't remember what exactly he did in Monk, but he definitely was in Monk.
He was Reverend Hadley Jorgensen.
He played a priest?
Yeah.
He played a reverend? Which is appropriate, because he was in another movie that we watched earlier on last year, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, playing the dad. Yep. You know, the ultra-Christian, you know, completely against his type dad. So
he was in House.
Oh God, he's been in so many things. But Meatloaf in general, and I remember him for his music. I wouldn't be surprised
if he was somewhere in Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy? I wouldn't be surprised.
Everybody's been in Grey's fucking Anatomy, apparently.
He was? Oh God.
I just fucking finished Grey's, or whatever's on Netflix for Grey's.
Yes.
Literally everybody's been in fucking Grey's.
He was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show episode of Glee.
He played himself in South Park.
Well, of course. Who else is going to play Meatloaf? Who else are you going to get to play Meatloaf in anything?
Prey or Matt, like they do for everybody?
No, that would have been too much. I mean, if you're going to have Meatloaf, get Meatloaf.
They were big enough, so...
He was also, for some reason...
really, dropped off lately.
I have to watch this now, because I don't remember this. But he was, for some reason, in the really bad film adaptation of the movie, of the video game Blood Rain. I had no idea. That. No idea at all. So that I'm going to have to watch, because that is a little strange. Okay. Lastly on our list, because he's, of all the people that we personally recognize, lastly on the list, and I'm not sure you recognize him as much as I do. There's two more. Louis Anderson.
Yep.
Louis Anderson, he was a big comedian, late 80s, early 90s. He's had his own television shows. He's had a couple of television shows. He even had his own cartoon for a little while, like a Little Louie cartoon. which I thought was Life with Louie, about him when he was a kid, which was loosely based off of him. He also starred from 2016 to 2019 in the Comedy Central, FX, late night FX show Baskets.
I didn't watch that.
I watched a little bit of it. It's him, I want to say Zach Galifianakis is in it as well. I definitely recommend watching it. It was an interesting show, and he actually plays, if I'm not mistaken, a transsexual woman in the show.
Zach Galifianakis is a fucking gem.
Oh, there needs to be more Zach out there right now. I think he's picking and choosing his roles.
I need more Between Two Ferns.
Right?
Yes!
Or just, we could, no, I'm going to leave that one back in my head. I don't need to say that one out loud. There's certain things you don't say out loud.
No, there's certain things you don't say out loud.
Certain things you don't say out loud.
No more Hangover movies.
No more Hangover.
I've had my fill, thank you very much.
3 is enough. The Hangover after the Hangover.
2 was enough.
2 was enough? The third one was not that good. The third one was really not that good.
The second one wasn't that good.
I thought the second one was good. Wasn't that
they were
bad.
All right, but the first one, it was good enough.
The running Mike Tyson gag.
After the first one, it was just fucking repetitive.
The running Mike Tyson gag honestly needed to just be.
Yeah.
All right. The last guy on our list is one that you don't recognize, but I do.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that I'm not sure if you've actually seen any of the shows that he was involved with. Howard Hessman.
Probably not.
He played Dr. Johnny Fever on WKRP in Cincinnati. He was their kind of hippie DJ for the radio station. I personally recommend, if you like any of the old 80s comedies like Full House, so on and so forth, if you go on HBO, they have the entire run of Head of the Class, which actually has quite a few famous bit actors from different things that you'll probably recognize throughout the show. But that was probably one of my favorite performances from him. He played a substitute teacher who came in and was hired as the permanent teacher for the advanced placement class.
Okay.
So that was a pretty good show. I definitely recommend watching that. He was in a lot of different movies that I remember watching. He mainly played a lot of... I don't even know how to put it. He sort of played a lot of hippie characters.
Yeah.
That kind of went along with his Johnny Fever
the general
character.
stoner vibe.
He was in Flight of the Navigator. He was the doctor in the Flight of the Navigator movie.
I don't think I watched that.
Ooh, you must watch Flight of the Navigator. You must. Go. Run over to Disney Plus, watch Flight of the Navigator, because that was an oldie worth watching. He was in Drop Dead Diva for a short period of time. He had a quick role in CSI. He was also in ER, Psych, Boston Legal. Like I said, he was in a lot of bit roles in different TV shows.
Oh, damn, you're breaking up.
Oh, am I breaking up on your end? I apologize.
A little bit. No, you're good.
Okay. Well, if I'm back. I just kept chattering for a moment.
Oh, that works.
Was running down all the television shows that he was in. I did not realize that they tried to bring him back in a TV show in 2007 called John from Cincinnati.
You want to turn the heater off?
Which,
oh, shit, sorry.
You need to mute yourself.
I thought I was on mute.
I personally can't turn your heater off. I'm several towns away. But,
okay, I'm
Fredo
sorry.
can get on that. Fredo can get on that.
I'm gonna do it.
You do it yourself. But, after being in both of those TV shows, he actually made a living for himself. There's not a year here where he didn't dip into some TV show or another. So if you go over his IMDb, you'll see that he is all over shows.
He's in a little bit of everything.
Oh, I mean, he's been in everything from House to Boston Legal. He was in that 70s show, Crossing Jordan, The Mesmerist, which I don't even know what that is, Touched by an Angel, which is a horrible name for a TV show. Just horrible.
Yeah, right.
It's a terrible name for a TV show. That sounds like
awful.
That sounds like
they
something.
They were trying to be cute, but it wasn't.
It sounds like something you go to the police officer, the police officer, the police station, officer.
Oh,
I've been touched by an angel, or he called himself an angel, and he wouldn't stop. Okay, and now you've got a devastated look on your face, or a surprised look on your face, or...
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at Facebook, and there's a very bad-looking leopard gecko.
Oh.
Yeah.
Miss Bee is a protector and...
Rehabilitator,
adopter of all sorts of leopard geckos. She has several. How many are still left?
I still have all 4.
Still have all 4. I thought that there was one that you had that...
We were gonna rehome a couple, but we ended up keeping all of them.
I know that you were talking about parting ways with a couple.
I gave one to Winter, but I still go over to their house and take care of him and stuff.
Well, of course. I mean, because you're the one teaching her to take care of him.
This gecko's got some shit coming out of his eye.
Oh no.
And it's bad. It's very bad.
Oh.
And a prolapsed butthole, and the other eye is just gone.
What? Who has pictures of this?
It's on a reptile rehabilitation group.
What?
The person that posted it is rescuing them.
You want to talk about throwing the end of this episode off on a downbeat? Just
right.
I don't know.
Hey man, you asked about it.
Yeah, I didn't expect leopard gecko with a prolapsed butthole. I'm sorry. I just that was a lot to take in.
Don't mind the stuff. I'm going to show you a picture, but don't mind the stuff on his mouth. That's just
just, you know what?
Special food.
That's a horrible picture. Take that away.
Yeah.
Take that away. I'm surprised that's alive.
Me too, honestly.
Oh my god. You know what?
It honestly looks like a mushroom is growing out of this leopard gecko's eye.
All I have to say is this. We're gonna end the episode here because talking about devastated geckos, and what I'm gonna say, I love my cat. I know you love your dog. I know you love your geckos. I love the dog.
I can't stand my dog.
I love Sugar.
He's the worst.
Oh, you love your dog, and you know it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there with his little crooked teeth. He wouldn't be in your house if you didn't love him. So, that being said, take care of your fucking pets, or we're gonna send Hutch after you.
Honestly. No, we're going to send John Wick after you.
John Wick? We haven't done the John Wick movies.
We haven't. We need to. I still haven't watched the John Wick movies.
I haven't either. Don't say that out loud to Thomas. He will fucking kill us both.
He probably will,
He
but you know what?
loves those movies.
He can find out when he listens to this episode if he ever does.
There's a 4th one coming out. There's a 4th John Wick movie coming out.
Die.
They
should have let the Matrix die.
Should we do... I don't want to do a triple play. I really couldn't get through 3 movies just talking about 3 movies.
No.
And that's a lot of Keanu Reeves to take in one evening, too.
Granted, he's America's baby, but there's only so much you can take of one person.
Keanu Reeves, as far as I'm concerned, is like an acquired taste. It's something... It's not... it's like...
Oh, no, I've always loved Keanu Reeves.
It's like chocolate for me. I can't eat chocolate all the time. Every once in a while, I have a craving to have chocolate.
Lake House did it for me.
No, you know what did it for me? Bill and Ted 2, The Bogus Journey. That's what fucking... Watching that, and I was like...
They should never have done a remake of Bill and Ted. They should never have done a remake of The Matrix. It was good the way it was left off.
Though I did not mind... I did not like number 2. I liked the first Bill and Ted. I liked the last Bill and Ted. The one in the middle was just pure shit, and it never needed to happen.
Yeah.
The only reason that I liked the most recent Bill and Ted movie was because he was forced to shave off that fucking goatee, and he looked...
finally.
He looked goofy as hell the entire fucking movie. He was playing his old role... That kind of dumbass thing that he did with the Bill and Ted movie, and just, I'm watching him, and it's like, you look so goofy! I could not, and Alex Winter looked like Alex Winter has forever. He didn't look like he had aged.
No.
And he is just as funny as he was that. I need more Alex Winter. Forget Keanu Reeves. I loved Alex Winter. He was funny as hell. He was weird. So
we need more of that.
We need more of that weirdness. We need more of that...
innocent weirdness.
Innocent weirdness, you know? You know what I'm watching after we get done here tonight?
What?
One of the worst movies Jake Gyllenhaal has ever made.
Did you say Gyllenhaal, you piece of shit?
Yes.
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal. I don't care.
This is Gif and Jif all over again. Stop it.
Anyway, Jake. I'm not saying his last name because I don't want to piss you off.
Okay.
I'm watching.
Okay.
I'm watching Bubble Boy.
Oh my god.
Yes. Yes. Bubble
I haven't
Boy.
seen that in ages.
All right. So
I am watching the second Amazing Spider-Man.
right, I actually have to sit down and I'm waiting. I'm waiting the second that they allow purchase of that movie, the newest one.
Yeah.
The second they allow purchase.
I don't want to buy a whole subscription just to rent a movie.
Nope. Well, what I've been doing, I do the sneaky thing. I go out and buy the new movie, take the voodoo code out, and then I go over to Bull Moose and bring it back and say, here you go.
Yep. Nice.
I've watched the movie. I kept that little piece of paper.
No, I'm waiting to watch the new No Way Home movie until Fredo sees all of the Spider-Man movies. He's seen all the Tom Holland and all of the fucking,
Andrew Garfield.
Nope.
Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
He's seen Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland, but he hasn't seen Andrew Garfield.
I cannot forgive the Venom episode. I cannot forgive the third one. That... Yeah. Him dancing
oh my god,
around.
Nobody can forgive that.
That, oh god.
That should never have existed.
No. Never.
Emo Peter Parker? No.
Mind you, that whole thing, it's
that
not
was
even...
all the fucking that was all the rage, though.
It wasn't
in
even
2009.
it wasn't even comic book accurate.
No, it wasn't canon at all.
Nothing about that was. And Toby, not just Tobey Maguire, but Topher Grace basically being Venom. So many people you could have picked. So many people. And you went with Topher Grace?
Honestly, didn't hate Topher Grace. He needed to get out of that geeky fucking That 70s Show shit.
There are things that I have watched Topher Grace in that I have absolutely loved. Okay?
Have you seen him in Black Mirror?
No, I have not yet.
He was really good in Black Mirror.
There was a really bad movie that I liked him in. It was a bad romantic comedy called Dating Tad Hamilton.
Didn't see it.
It was horrible. But it was
I'm glad I didn't see it.
It was the kind of horrible that I love. Like, it was such a shitty movie that I couldn't stop laughing. And I wasn't laughing at the stuff that they wanted you to laugh at. It was just things going off in my head like, oh my fucking god, really? So, and I won't make you watch it either. I won't make you watch it either, because I'm sticking by my guns. We really don't do romantic comedies on this fucking show.
You can't make me watch it.
No.
Fuck.
There is the most romantic comedy...
Nobody can make me do anything. I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
The most romantic comedy that we have ever watched on this show is Tammy and the T-Rex, and that's about as close as I'm getting.
All right.
All right, on behalf of myself and Miss B, thank you for sitting down and listening to our Nobody podcast, and take us away.
Drink some fucking water, you thirsty bitches.